Hi, my name is Dong. I'm an animator in the Japanese animation industry. I think today is a good opportunity to discuss some tips and tricks to help you with animation layout and perspective drawing. And this is Kiki. She's going to be helping us out today. The most important thing when starting a perspective drawing is to determine where the eye level or horizon line goes. You can think of the eye level as the height of the cameraman's lens when they are pointing the camera straight ahead. Today I'll be drawing in Clip Studio Paint. Check out my video on the software to learn more about using it. One of the more common ways to stage a scene is to have the eye level at the character's head. In this situation, the camera is at about the same height as our character and is aiming straight at their head. This kind of shot is commonly seen in contre-champ or shot-to-reverse shot, conversation sequences, point of views, and news broadcasts. This is a very neutral and balanced way to stage a scene and your character. Another common way to stage a shot is with the eye level lower, near the waist or even lower near the knees. If I were to move the camera down, the eye level would also move down to where the height of the camera is. We're going to have to redraw our background to match the new eye level here. By moving the eye level down, we give the character a larger sense of importance. This is a much more cinematic way to stage your shot. Another thing I think you should learn as a layout artist is some basics about photography and camera lenses. When you stage a scene, always be cognizant of the focal length of your lens. When you shoot with a short focal lens or with a wide angle lens, you get a scene that is extremely wide with a very low magnification. The human eye doesn't really see like this and it feels unnatural, but is great for establishing shots due to how much of the background is visible. The character will be very small in these kind of shots and will have less of a sense of importance. Here, the vanishing points are very close to each other and the perspective grid is really exaggerated. To mimic what a human eye sees, a focal length around 50mm or so is used. The angle of view here is narrower and more magnified and feels more natural. The majority of your shots are going to be staged with this kind of lens. Here, the perspective lines also look more natural with the vanishing points further apart. These type of shots help connect the character with their environment while still feeling relatively neutral. With a really long telephoto lens, we get an image that is extremely narrow with high magnification. The camera can really only focus on one part of the image with such a long lens, with everything else in bokeh or blurred. This is great for close-ups and portraits especially. The perspective lines look almost isometric with how far apart the vanishing points are. For this shot in particular, I will make a note for the compositor to have the BG and our character blurred, and the focus of the scene would be on the statue in the back. When I first started drawing layouts, I often struggled with placing the character at the right size. A trick I like to use is to use something in the scene as a height reference. A standard door height is around 2 meters or 6'7", varying slightly by country. So if your character is around 1.6 meters or 5'3", you can size them correctly by comparing them with the door. Doing some simple math, we know our character is about 80% the size of the door, and her height will be about here. For outdoor scenes, you can use something standard in your country, like a guardrail or signpost. When your character is standing parallel to a wall or other object, they should also be following the same perspective lines of that object. With this scene, with the character leaning against the wall, we should make sure that things such as the line where her eyes sit and the shoulders also match that of the perspective lines of the background, all converging to the same vanishing point. Another tip to get your character to properly fit in the scene and have the proper perspective is to simplify them into a series of boxes and add the details in later. Here's a little trick they teach in art school to help you move your character around your layout. Take your character and look at how they relate to the eye level. So if the character intersects the eye level at the pelvis, when you move that character to any other part of the layout, they'll always intersect the eye level at the same point as long as they have the same pose, irregardless of how close or far they are from the camera. You can copy and paste around the drawing of the character to figure out how big they would be in different parts of the scene, and then draw her in various poses afterwards. Here's a little trick to help you space equidistant things such as lampposts. First, place the posts at the two extremes, one in the foreground and another in the background. We'll figure out where the post in the middle should be. First, draw the perspective lines that the two posts share, and mark the top and bottom of each post. Then we draw a line bisecting our 4 points from the top of one post to the bottom of the other, and vice versa. The point where the lines intersect is the exact middle point between the two posts, and we can draw the middle post there with perfect spacing. We can also use this to figure out where the next post should be. Draw a line starting from the top and bottom of the foreground post, intersecting the halfway point of the middle post. And then you can get the post in the background position. Always make sure to have a character in your scene, as humans provide the best reference for scale in a layout. You can use this technique for many different objects, such as utility poles, flagstaffs, etc. In a perfect world, all the perspective lines converge to the same set of vanishing points in your scene. Humans tend to make things following a pattern, a set grid if you will, and that's why many of our cities are building grids. But things are not always going to follow a perfect pattern. Not everything will have perfect right angles. You are going to have to draw layouts where different objects converge to different vanishing points, and you have to be cognizant of when that comes up. My last tip for you is to just keep drawing and working through it. You will see the fruits of your hard work soon enough. Alright, that's it for me. Thanks to everyone who is supporting the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel, links are down below. Members get some unique content to them every month. Other than that, check out my social media, Twitter for my day-to-day, and Instagram if you just want to see my art. Thanks friends, have a great day.